Hey guys, so we left off part 1 asking you, how would you simplify this expression? 2 to the 7th times 32 to the x power. Well, we can use the properties of exponents to help us simplify exponential expressions, as long as they have the same base. We can use those same properties in our next example to simplify radicals that have different indices, but have the same radicand. So right now you may be saying, okay, that's great, Mrs. Hardman, but these don't have the same base. This is a base 2, and this is a base 32. Well, if you think about what 32 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So we can rewrite 32 as 2 to the 5th, and that's exactly what we're going to do. 2 to the 5th, all of that to the x power. And our properties of exponents tell us that we can just multiply. When we have an exponent being raised to an exponent, we can multiply those. So we get 2 to the 7th times 2 to the 5x. Now that we have the same base, we can use our property of exponents that allows us to add our exponents when we have the same base. So this can be rewritten as 2 to the 5x plus 7 or 2 to the 7 plus 5x. We usually lead with our linear term, and our constant term comes last. And that has been fully simplified. These same properties of exponents can be used to help us simplify radicals that have different indices. Now you may be wondering, remember, how can properties of exponents be used to simplify radicals? Well, radicals are just another way of writing exponents. So let's start first by rewriting these radicals as exponents. This is 3 being raised to the first power with an index of 2, and this is 9 being raised to the first power with an index of 3, and so we get 3 to the 1/2 and 9 to the 1/3. Well, that doesn't help us because we would still have different bases. So you can see here, we rewrote 9 with the base 3. 9 is 3 squared, and we can rewrite 9 to the 1/3 as 3 to the 2/3. Now that our bases are the same, we can use the properties of exponents to add our exponents. So we have a base 3 to the 1/2 plus 2/3 power. Well, in order to add 1/2 and 2/3, we have to have a common denominator. So 1/2 is 3/6, and 2/3 is 4/6. And that gives us 3 to the 7/6 power. So that's allowed us to simplify it using the properties of exponents. Now let's put it back in radical form since that's where we started. So we can write that as 3 to the 7/6 power. But 3 7s and our index is 6, surely there's a way to simplify that. Now if you think about it, 3 to the 7s is just 3 6s and then, or 6 3s and then one more 3. So I could write 3 out 7 times, or you can just see it's 3 to the 6th and 3 to the 1st. And then I can take the 6th root of each. The 6th root of 3 to the 6th and the 6th root of 3 to the 1st. The 6th root of 3 to the 6th is 3, and the 6th root of 3 to the 1st cannot be simplified. So we're left with 3 times the 6th root of 3. And that is as simple as we can get it. Now this was a very quick part 2. We were practicing using those properties of exponents to help us simplify these radical and exponential expressions. Again, I will say it again and again and again. If you don't know yet, if you're not confident or comfortable yet with the properties of exponents, you need to invest some time working with those and learning those. We are going to spend some time at the beginning of each class reviewing those and working with those as well, but you also need to spend some time making sure that you know these properties of exponents just as well as you know that 1 plus 1 equals 2. All right, guys, today we multiplied radical expressions and exponential expressions. We used the properties of exponents to help us simplify these expressions. We also reviewed the product property of radicals and used that to help us simplify expressions as well. Remember, the product property of radicals cannot be used with negative radicands that have an even root. So if you're trying to simplify radicals and you've got like a square root of -6, just rewrite that as I square root of 6 so that you can simplify your radical expression from there. If you guys have any questions, be sure to write those down and ask me next class.